What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Fantasy Feud. We are talking about the AFC Championship game this week, Cincinnati Bengals and Kansas City Chiefs, and what I expect to be not the greatest game of the season because we saw that last week with the Chiefs and Bills, but it's going to be up there. I think this is going to be a fantastic rematch of the game that happened earlier in the season where the Bengals won at the end of the game with a game-winning walk-off touchdown. So I expect nothing less. Before we get into today's video, I want to ask if you like it, comment down below who you think is going to win, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy today's content. It would mean a lot to us, and we'd like to see you become a member of our community. But I know Mason's got some talking points to hit real fast, so I'm going to give it over to him. Let's hear what you got to say, man.
Guys, we already know what we are getting ourselves into. This is going to be one heck of a game. Stone, you already brought up the Week 17 matchup, so let's talk about it a little bit. Final score, Kansas City Chiefs 31, Cincinnati Bengals 34. The Bengals had one heck of a statistical performance. Joe Burrow had his 446-yard, 4 touchdowns. Joe Mixon did not play that much. He had 12 rushing attempts, 46 rushing yards. But this is a historic game for Jamar Chase. 11 catches, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns. So, do you guys think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to let Jamar Chase do that again? Well, Tyrann Mathieu might not play.
Yeah,
he was designated as did not practice on Wednesday.
That's what I was going to say. That's the only guy that could really
huge.
mitigate that. And if he doesn't play, how are they going to stop Jamar Chase? They don't have anybody that can stop him.
Yeah. This is going to be a crazy game. You know, it's even more crazy is Patrick Mahomes only had 2 passing touchdowns that game, and they still were within 3 points. We all know Patrick Mahomes can do more if he has to, but we do know the Bengals have the ability to beat the Chiefs. Now, is it hard to beat a team twice in one season? Yes, but we see the 49ers do it to the Rams 6 times in a row. But let's not talk about that right
Every
now.
single time they play.
Let's not talk about that right now. We'll talk about that maybe tomorrow. Yeah, definitely tomorrow. So, Paul, give us some insight. What are you thinking right now?
So when I first see this game on tape, I instantly think offense. I think 30 points a game. I think high-powered scoring with under 2 minutes on a drive. But I don't
Let's
think any
go.
of that is going to be what dictates this game. I think the pace of this game is all going to have to do with the trenches. We just seen the Cincinnati offensive line get absolutely demolished all day, dog walked constantly to the tune of 9 sacks, a playoff record, tied a playoff record. If the Chiefs can get half that type of pressure, I just don't know if the Cincinnati offense will be able to kind of hang with the Kansas City Chiefs at that point. Although we just seen it against the Bills, 2 great teams going up against each other. The Bills defense was able to stagger the Chiefs at times. Their offense couldn't get going. They couldn't move it. And then once you hit the fourth quarter, it was just an all-out bloodbath track meet. Up and down the field, three touchdowns and 4 possessions, all underneath the 2-minute warning. I don't know if we can see another game like that. But if there's a team that can produce that type of offense to go up against the Chiefs, it's going to be Cincinnati. We've seen it, like you said, with Jamar Chase, up and down the field, 3 touchdowns, I think all over 50 yards. He has the ability to get T. Higgins involved, who I think the past 7 games going into the playoffs, the last 7 games of the season while going into the playoffs, he was averaging, I think, second in the league with like 104 or 114 yards per game. Going absolutely crazy, allowing teams not to be able to double team Jamar Chase. I think it's going to be, like I said, one in the trenches. That's going to kind of dictate how this offense goes, if they sputter, if they're able to put up 30 points in the game apiece. But I'm just ready for it. Hopefully, if the way it comes up, we'll see the the Kansas City Chiefs, but I don't want the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see the Cincinnati Bengals move on to a Super Bowl.
I want to make a couple of points that you guys, I guess Mason and you briefly touched on this one, was that Kansas City's ability to drive the ball down the field. Obviously, they have all the power in the world to drive the ball down the field, but last time they played against Cincinnati, we saw it. Almost every single drive they started back on their own 20, they drove it straight down into the red zone. They kicked a field goal, went for it on 4th down, didn't get it, or got a touchdown. Like their offense was very capable of driving down on Cincinnati. So Cincinnati is in my opinion, going to have to keep pace with Patrick Mahomes and his offense. And if they can get a few stops in there, and if Cincinnati's offense is clicking, they can take this game. But because of the Kansas City ability to move the ball, and we saw it against the Bills, who were ranked one of the better defenses in the NFL this year, and they just absolutely scorched them last week, especially in the last 2 minutes of the game. But we don't have to talk about that. That was just wild in its own sense. Another thing I wanted to bring up, my second point, was stopping Jamar Chase. We've already talked about it a little bit. How is Kansas City going to do it? They don't have Tyrann Mathieu. And last week, Gabriel Davis went free for 200 yards. So if someone like Gabriel Davis is getting 200 yards on this defense, Jamar Chase, one of the best receivers in the NFL at just finding a gap and getting open and just scorching defenses with his insane speed, he is going to have another field day. However, like Paul said, T. Higgins could definitely be a factor, and we're not even talking about Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd could be a huge factor in this game.
Yeah.
And they didn't use Joe Mixon like Mason said in the first
All
time.
I know
so maybe they use Joe Mixon.
I don't know. I'm sorry if I cut you off, but we know that the Bengals they better be doing the most to fix that defense or that offensive line. I do not believe the Chiefs pass attack or their rushing, their pass defense rushing is as scary as the Titans.
Hold on. What did you say? You said their pass attack, rush offense, rush pass defense.
I could not think of the right word.
You're talking about
rush
the defensive
defense.
line.
Their defensive line.
Yeah.
Their rush
front
defense.
seven.
Their front seven. Sorry. Just forget I even said anything previous.
Words are hard.
Their front
sometimes.
seven.
Okay.
They are. What will they be able to do against the Bengals? They're probably going to be able to find some soft spots. We have the tape. They have the tape. It's going to be done. But this Bengals defense. Now, Stone mentioned it. The Bills defense was like top in the league. They were one of the best defenses this year. The Bengals defense is good. All right. I think they'll be able to make some stuff happen. I think they're going to slow it down a little bit. But yeah, that being said, it should be a great game to watch. I'm ready to get into some predictions if you guys are.
Yeah, I will say the Bengals defense is the reason they won that game against Tennessee. Their offense was doing fine. Yeah. They just couldn't get any points on the board, but their defense really won that game. So I will say the offense was doing fine, but every time Joe Burrow got sacked, it just destroyed their drive. Realistically, Cincinnati, if they could have blocked a little bit for Joe Burrow, they would have blown Tennessee out in that game, and I quite believe that statement. But yes, let's get into two predictions. Mason, you brought it up, so let's hear yours first, man.
I'm Who Day all the way this year. It is going to be crazy hard to go into Arrowhead Stadium. It is going to be loud. All they talk about is how the Bengals are preparing for this loud stadium. Technically, I should give the hand to the Chiefs. All the experts are going to pick the Chiefs, but I'm sticking with Who Day, baby. Let's go. I'm going to give the Bengals 28 points, and I'm going to give the Chiefs 24 points.
I'll go ahead. I'll go second. This is an extremely difficult decision. I want to continue to ride the underdog, but they're not an underdog anymore, according to their quarterback, Joey Burr. He's tired of the underdog narrative. They're a great team. They can go toe-to-toe with almost anybody in this league. I think they have a chance to win this game. I think it's going to take the run game to do it. I think it's going to take all three facets. They're going to have to be better in the trenches. They're going to have to hold up against the front seven of Kansas City. If they can manage that, like I said, I think this game is dictated on running the ball in the trenches, the offensive line. If they could hold for at least half the protection of what they did against Tennessee, I think they'll be able to withstand this. But again, it's Pat Mahomes. I will say one thing to me that's harder than, I guess, trying to complete the underdog narrative is making it to 3 consecutive Super Bowls, to hosting 4 consecutive AFC Championship games. I hate to say it, and I mean, I never want to doubt the Mahomes magic, but when does it end? You know, like it can't just continue to rain forever. We just seen an incredible comeback against Buffalo. I don't know if that left enough in the tank. I think this hungry Cincinnati team comes in, and I think we see an offensive shootout, a straight-up slobber knocker, in my opinion, and I'm going to go 31-30 Kansas. No, not Kansas City. Cincinnati, 31-30.
Who day? I'm going to keep mine short and simple because Paul pretty much hit every single point I was talking about. I have been riding Cincinnati ever since they're in the playoffs. I want Cincinnati to win. All the bias in my brain right now is possibly going into this pick. I don't care who's playing. I'm picking them Who days, even though I know Kansas City probably should win this game. But Cincinnati has all the firepower to do it, and if they utilize Joe Mixon correctly in this game, they will win this game, as Paul said. So I'm going Cincinnati 37-30. It's going to be both teams in the 30s. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Cincinnati. Joey Burr is not going to get sacked 9 times, and Joey Burr is going to be unleashed. He was unleashed in that Tennessee game. He had 300 yards, and he got sacked 9 times. The guy is absolutely nuts right now. Joey Burr, man. Rooting for you.
He's got swagger.
Yes, he does. If you guys enjoyed today's video, like it, comment down below who you actually think is going to win this game, and subscribe to the channel. I know we all have Cincinnati bias, so we all pick Cincinnati, but they do realistically have a shot to win this game. It's in Arrowhead. It's going to be tough, but they can get it done. Subscribe to the channel if you guys enjoyed today's content. We post videos like this each and every single day, and we would love for you to become a part of our team here. So, Mason, break us out of here, man.
Fantasy Few out, baby. Let's go.